Brilliant. Okay, Andy. So quite a week here at Tranmere Rovers. You find yourself in temporary charge of the team for this weekend for Port Vale. What's the mood been like in the camp this week? What's it been like, getting into your new role, if you like?
Yeah, I think it's important, first of all, that I say that a top guy has unfortunately lost his job. It's someone who I've worked with closely over a long period of time. He loves this football club. He didn't want it to end this way. He's really disappointed about that. He's from the area that this is his football club, and he's been extremely proud to be the manager of this football club. So it's important that I acknowledge that. He's been a big influence on my career, and I thank him for everything he's done for me. But football moves on, and it moves on very quickly. So obviously the decision was made by the football club post the game on Tuesday night. I found out when I just got back home again. So obviously spoke to Nigel after that. And then Wednesday we were called in, myself, Parky, Neil Downs and Joe Murphy, to have a conversation with Mark about what he wanted to do moving forward in the short term. And here I am.
There we go. So what exactly did 𝗦𝗨𝗣𝗣𝗢𝗡 say to you? Did you kind of expect that conversation might be coming, and was there any hesitation at the job that you accepted?
When I first came to the football club in December, did I expect to be in this position? No, I came in to try and help and assist Nigel, and we are all culpable for what has happened since, myself included. Players, members of staff, someone who I say I've got a lot of respect for has lost their job. Regarding obviously my conversation with Mark, that will remain private, but I'm obviously sat here for a reason, and he wanted me to do something which I was ready to accept. I'd spoken to Nigel regarding that situation, and I wanted him to say yes. And
would you have taken it if he'd have said no?
Of course, 100%. 100%. I came to this football club to support Nigel, and I wanted his permission to say, yeah, he was backing that decision. So if he would have been against it, 100%, I wouldn't be saying now.
Okay, now, do you expect to be in charge for more than the Port Vale game? I know, that's as far as we know. Are you expecting that it might be 2, maybe 3 games?
Short-term planning is for this game. It's the next game. I've also spoken to staff and players about the potential of that being longer and what we can control. So I'm planning for each game, and when that changes, we don't currently know.
And in terms of your own personal ambition, is it a job that you would like to put yourself forward for, should the chance come available?
Well, I've been a manager previously. I've wanted to get back into being a manager. My sole focus at this football club is the here and the now, and what do we need to do in the next 13 games, if that's how long I'm in charge for, is to secure League 2 status. That is our only thing that we are discussing. My personal ambitions are secondary to that. My only focus is keeping this football club in the Football League. It's our responsibility as a group of staff and a group of players to represent this area, our fans. This is a working class place with real values of honesty, hard work, commitment, bravery, courage, and we have to show all those things on the pitch. We have to mirror the people that we are representing.
There are some fans that might say, as you've alluded to, you're a part of the regime that's led to Tranmere being in this position. I know you've only been here since December. What would you say to those fans who maybe would argue that this is just a part of the Nigel Adkins regime carrying on, and actually this isn't the fresh break that we need?
Well, we have to show them that there's change on the football pitch. We will ultimately get judged for 90 minutes a week on a Saturday afternoon, and I want to see change. We've spoken about change. There has to be change. There's been change for a reason. I can't focus on what's happened previously. I can only focus on how we can influence change going forward, and that's all I've spoken about to the players, that things that we have to be consistently doing on a football pitch. Some I've alluded to in terms of what we do on the pitch. We have to run, we have to fight, we have to be competitive, we have to win tackles, and anything we can do on top of that is a real bonus at this moment in time.
We heard those words from Nigel Adkins about working hard and about effort, and he never faulted the effort of the players, but something is going badly wrong, something big has to change. So what is it that you will do that will bring about the change that's needed for Tranmere?
Well, what I will do will remain pirate. As I say, it will come out on the pitch on a Saturday, hopefully. But a lot of things which are in my control, and unfortunate results can be dictated by a number of things which are out of your control. But I can control what happens here at this training ground Monday to Friday. We've spoken about everything that we need to do well Monday to Friday, so that Saturday isn't a lottery, isn't a fluke. It's a consequence of everything that we've done Monday to Friday, and the players have obviously a lot of responsibility within that, as they do when they leave this place as well. So we have to be 24 hours a day focused on this job, and as I say, for 13 games, if that's what it is with me sat in front of you, our focus is on retaining League 2 status. That is the only thing.
You could argue that your job's actually been made harder since you were appointed. Carlisle getting a win last night, meaning that Tranmere are now 2 points off both teams in the bottom two. Do you look much at other teams' results? I mean, you kind of have to, don't you, in this position, because it could be that so far Tranmere have relied on that for not being in the bottom two, and it might be the case going forward.
I can't be influenced by what Carlisle are doing. Carlisle against Barrow last night, I can't do anything about that. So my focus isn't on the teams below us, just above us. My focus is on our group.
It's Port Vale this weekend. Quite a fitting first match for you, given your links to the club. Not that you would need any extra motivation to do well for Tranmere, but does that add a bit extra for you for this weekend? No, listen, my only focus is on Tranmere Rovers this weekend. I obviously spent time at Port Vale. I thoroughly enjoyed my time at Port Vale, but so my focus is on how we can get 3 points tomorrow. What about the challenge of Port Vale? 8 games unbeaten, they've not lost this calendar year. Really, really tough first game for you. What are you expecting from them?
Listen, there are no easy games of football at any level. They're obviously up there challenging at the top end of the table. An experienced group of players, a large group of players, and as you say, they've been on a good run of form in this calendar year, and they'll be expected to be promoted this season without shadow of a doubt. A large following tomorrow, but again, it's more about what we can do to influence our supporters. We need their energy. But as I've stressed to the players this morning and yesterday, we need to give them something to shout about. We can't expect them to energise us. We have to energise them. And it's through all the things I've just said to you. The football on top of that is a bonus, but we have to fight. We have to be competitive. We have to win lots of duels and tackles, etc. And we have to show passion and commitment. And if we do all those things and we leave everything out on the pitch, that should give us a good chance of getting a result. But we need the fans more than ever. I'm obviously aware of the frustrations and why shouldn't they be frustrated of where we are in the table, but we need them tomorrow. We need to come together. We are all pushed in the same direction. They all want Tranmere to be a League 2 football club next season, and so does everyone within this building.
Does it feel like that if anything's going to keep you up, it's going to be the home games that you've got? I mean, the form generally obviously not great, but the away form in particular, I think it's 10 straight defeats on the road for Tranmere. Is it, you mentioned the importance of the Prenton Park crowd. Is it going to be the home games that could essentially keep you up?
Who knows? We need to collect points. We need to make sure that come the 46th game of the season, we're not in the bottom two, and that's our focus. Where we collect those points, I don't think we can pick and choose where we're going to win them. Have we got a better chance of collecting points at home? Generally teams do, but do we have to go and collect points away from home in the remainder of the season? Of course we will.
We hear a lot about managers having a philosophy and teams having an identity. Would you say you have a philosophy that you're going to try and get your teams to play?
I think football teams are built on what's available to managers at the time. We all want time as managers to mould our teams into what we ideally want. Do football managers generally get time? No. So it's about me picking up this baton now and getting the best out of these players we've currently got.
You work obviously with Nigel a lot over your career and as a player and behind the scenes. I mean, can you put your finger on why it didn't work for Nigel this time around? Because as you say, it seemed like quite a good fit, with his links to the area and his history with the club as a player. Can you put your finger on what went wrong this time?
No, and I think if we could have put our finger on what was going wrong, it would have been obviously done a long time ago. There's lots of things in there which influence results of football. Some things are unfortunately out of your control, and there's things this season which have obviously affected team selection, etc., for large periods. But listen, ultimately, we can't shy away from the results over a period of time haven't been good enough. They've culminated in where we are currently in the league. But that's the past. It's my job now to influence the future and what I can do moving forward and try and lead these group of players and staff.
There's a lot going on with Tranmere at the moment behind the scenes. Obviously, the speculation over the takeover. I mean, is that something you've talked to Mark about? Are you aware of what's going on? Because Nigel would tell us that he regularly spoke to Mark about what was going on, but a lot of the fans, feel in the dark about it, and it's something that's hanging over the club and doesn't really help the atmosphere, does it?
Well, I've had a conversation with Mark on Wednesday, and this was all about football. So unfortunately, or fortunately, whichever way you want to look at it, I've got no influence or anything to do with it. It's a potential takeover of the football club. That's nothing to do with me. What Mark wants me to do is focus on the football, the here and the now, and trying to collect more points for Tranmere Rovers.
Okay, that's great. Thank you.
Thank you.